Hello guys, welcome back. So now here in this session, we'll talk about terms of payment, or it is also called payment terms. Okay, so we'll see what is this payment terms, right? How to do the configurations. Configuration is pretty easy, guys. But first of all, we'll try to understand the concept, and there are certain things which like lots of things are there even in terms of payment also, right? So it depends, like the same topic can be covered even in 5 minutes also, and it can be covered in 50 minutes also, in 1 hour also, 1.5 hour also. So we'll see this topic in detail now. So if we talk about terms of payment, guys, look at here. The terms of payments are conditions agreed between business partner for the payment of invoices. Who is the business partner, guys? Either customer or vendor, right? Is called business partner, right? So I'll just do one thing instead of that. Specify customer brand. So this is a condition. Okay. So terms of payment are conditions agreed between customer and vendor for the payment of invoices. Now, say for example, since we are in accounts payable, we'll talk about vendors. So there is so who is the customer, guys? Of course, Tata Motor is the customer because they are buying, let's suppose, multiple uh, different kind of material services from different supplier. So supplier is nothing but vendor, right? Now, if you talk about the terms of payment, guys, so look at here, it's a condition agreed between both party, in the sense Tata Motor and vendor. Even it is like in case of customer also the same thing is applicable, guys. But customer means that is a part of account receivable. We'll talk later. Now, now here, okay, the conditions define the due date and cash discount offered for the payment of invoices within a certain period. Okay, so I'll tell you guys now. We'll talk about the cash discount later. Uh, Discount also will come into picture, guys, later. First of all, the condition define the due date. Okay, so generally what happened? Okay, terms of payment enable the system to calculate invoice, due date, and cash discount. Okay, first of all, we'll talk about due date, right? So let's suppose we are having a vendor, right? Against that vendor, we have posted multiple invoices. Several invoices are going to be posted because I'll tell you guys, if you talk about procurement, procurement is nothing but purchase. So if you talk about procurement process, so procurement is a continuous activity, right? Say for example, one particular vendor is there. So from that vendor, right, continuously the orders are going to be placed by Tata Motors, right? Based on the demands and supply, right? If in market more demand is there, then Tata Motor is also going to order more raw materials and all from vendor side, right? Less demand is there, then less materials are going to be ordered. Right. So this is how, let's suppose, multiple invoices. This is invoice amount. Okay. So whatever invoice amounts, like whatever invoice amount means, this is the order placed by Tata Motor. So vendor is going to deliver the goods or services, whatever it is, right? So now generally, if you talk about B2B purchase, business to business purchase, I told you guys it is happening on credit basis, right? Small transactions are taking place on cash basis. For that, we have already seen a topic called cash journal, right? Now here, most of the transactions are happening on credit basis. It means the raw material which is purchased today is going to be paid. The payment is going to be made after some time. Might be after 30 days, after 45 days, after 60 days, after 90 days. So this is the condition which is going to be discussed between what, guys? Look at here, it's a condition agreed between customers and vendor. So of course, Tata Motor is having a purchase department. What is happening? This purchase department is going to find out the new vendors in the market, and they will negotiate these all conditions. That okay, if you are going to let's suppose if we procured so and so material from you, so what is the terms of payment first, right? So they will try to bargain with the terms of payment that once you send the invoices, the payment is going to be made in 60 days, right? Going to happen, right? So now here, let's suppose this invoice was posted on a particular date, guys. So particular date means, say for example, okay. Now here, so say for example, like 31st, right? And here 0208. Okay. Now this is the case. Now what is happening? So let's suppose these all are the invoice date, DT means date. So these all invoices are posted. Let's suppose invoice date, or we can say like posting date. Okay. So now here what is happening, guys? These invoices are posted on so and so this particular date. Different date, guys. Okay. So I'll tell you guys, I said like let's suppose there is a terms of payment, TOP, right? In short form I have written. TOP stands for terms of payment. Is agreed like 30 days. So 30 days is going to be like, let's suppose the invoice got posted on this date. So from here, like we are saying that once the invoice is getting posted in our system, then we like Tata Motors say to the vendor that you have to wait for additional 30 days. And after 30 days, we are going to make the payment, right? So now this invoice got posted on this first or this one, right? So now if you talk about due date, when this invoice is going to be due, if you add 30 days here, then this invoice is going to be due on 31st, right? Likewise, 10th means 0908. This is going to be due on this date. 23/7 means again 22nd 08. This is going to be due. It means 30 days are going to be added in these all things, right? And likewise, this is 27, 15/08, right? So this is also 31 days. So 14/09 it is going to be due. There is going to be like 21/09, and this is 31st to 38/09, and this is going to be due on 2nd, not this is 9th. This is going to be due on 2nd 09. Okay. The reason behind is these are the these like July and August is having 31 days and September is having only 40 days. So that is why it is going to be due on second. If you calculate manually, this is the due date, right? But the problem is, so look at here. Now I have calculated since we are having very less number of invoices. So these are the due date which I have calculated, right? It means for this invoice, the payment supposed to be made on 31st of July. For this one, 9th, right? Likewise, different dates are there. So this is called due date. If you check the status of invoices, this is overdue. This is also overdue. This is also overdue. This is also overdue itself. And this is not due. Remaining all are not due. Okay. So it means we are supposed to make payment of these invoices because due date is already crossed. Generally, these many days vendors are not going to wait. Of course, like whenever the due dates are there, right, within 2-3 days or 5 days or 6 days, they are expecting payment. So generally, what is happening, guys? The payment must be made on time, right? So payment, how on which date the payments are going to be made, right? So this due date calculation is required, guys. If manually we are going to calculate, then thousands of vendors are there. And if thousands of vendors are there, it means several thousand vendors are there, then lakhs of invoices will be there. Huge organization, guys, big organization means daily basis, 1,000 or 2,000 invoices are getting posted, right? So if manually due date calculation is going to happen, guys, 2-3 employees or 4 employees need to be deployed to calculate this due date itself, right? And there might be chances of wrong calculations. So no need to calculate this due date manually, guys. Okay. SAP is going to calculate the due date automatically. The moment we are going to post the invoice, automatically the due date will be calculated by system. Okay. And how this due date is going to be calculated by system, guys? So for that we have to do a configuration. And which configuration, guys? That is called terms of payment configuration. Okay. So how to do this terms of payment configuration, guys? It's pretty simple. So what is the use of terms of payment, guys? Terms of payment is in generally, it is a condition agreed between vendor and customers related to the payment of invoices, right? Okay. Now this cash discount we'll see later. Now terms of payment enable the system to calculate invoice due date. First of all, we'll see this one. Terms of payment enable system to calculate invoice due date, right? So we have to configure these terms of payment into SAP. How the configuration is going to be done, guys? I'll tell you. See, it's pretty simple. Configuration is pretty simple. Let me log in first. Taking time. Go to OB. Create your own. So click on new entry. And first of all, before that, let me check. Okay, you click, give a code here. TM30, I'm going to give, press enter. Yes. Now double click here, or else like I'll just do one thing. I'm going to do like this. Save it. New entry from here, TM30. Okay. Any code can be given, guys. It's not TM30 only. You can give here. Transaction code is going to appear here. OBB8. So you can give numeric, alphanumeric, alphabetic, right? And guys, look at here. The very small screen is there of terms of payment, but there are several things are hidden here. Lots of functionalities are there. We'll discuss one by one. First of all, we'll create a basic terms of payment. You try to understand the use of this. So look at here, guys, a code I have given. A code I have given, right? And here, this is called explanations field. Explanation means what is happening, guys. Look at here, 4 lines are there. Okay. So explanation is going to be updated automatically here based on our configuration. Okay. So I said, like, first of all, we are going to define a payment terms, that is 30 days. 30 days. So here you have to give number of days 30. That's it. Nothing else. Simply here we are going to give number of days 30 and press enter. If you press enter, then look at here, guys, the explanation got changed. Earlier it was payable, immediately due date was there. Right now it is saying within 30 days due date. The explanation automatically got changed. So this field we cannot edit. Based on our this entire configuration, guys, the text is getting updated here automatically. I'll just copy this one itself and I'm going to keep here. Cell text means descriptions we are going to specify here. Okay. The terms of payment descriptions. And own explanation means, let's suppose if the client says that, okay, I need this terms of payment in German language, also description must be appearing, or is in Chinese language, in Spanish language. Likewise, certain languages are supported by SAP. So even in those languages also you can give here. So generally, like if you talk about like let's suppose some few week back, I got a requirement where like they are saying that okay, you create a terms of payment and it's supposed to be in German language also. So German language we don't know, I don't know, you don't know, right? So what is happening simply this one. So what should be the name of nomenclature of terms of payment? That is going to be details will be sent by client. And same they have translated into German language. Simply we need to copy and paste here. That's it. This is what the logic. Now, now here, so we have created a terms of payment, but first of all you save this or else it is going to log out. Now what we have to see, account type. So look at here, by default customer and vendor got selected. By default customer and vendor got selected means what, guys? Okay, just give me a second. Okay. Well, first of all, let me get 30 here. Now, so account type, it means if you talk about terms of payment, where is the requirement of terms of payment, guys? So terms of payment in the sense due date calculation, right? What is the use of this terms of payment, guys? It is helping us to calculate the due date, right, of invoices. So it is required in case of vendor. At the same time, it is required in case of customers. Because customer, we are selling the goods on credit, right? So we also expect payment from customer on time, right? So if terms of payment configuration is there, then system will calculate the due date. And if we have not received the payment on that within the deadline, then system is going to show those invoices which is already like, so those invoices like for which we have not received the payment, system will show those invoices as a overdue item and overdue by a margin of 10 days, 20 days, 30 days, right? Okay. So in case of customer, in case of vendor, in both cases, guys, terms of payment is required. So generally what happens, whenever we create a terms of payment, always we leave up this field as it is. Because let's suppose client says that create one terms of payment TM30, right? This is from account payable department we have received. But same conditions, there might be a chances later on account receivable department is also going to raise. So instead of, so only for vendor, in that case, we are going to remove this check mark. Then this payment terms can be used only for account page, right? And if it is only for customer, for account receivable, then you have to apply a check mark here. It means this terms of payment is going to be used for customer only. It is not going to work out for vendor invoices. But generally we keep both. Even though I have received the invoice from, requirement from account payable, but we keep both so that account receivable later on in future, if they need the same or similar terms of payment, then what will happen, guys? First of all, people are going to check whether any terms of payment is already available in, or payment terms is already available in SAP or not. If it is not available, then they are going to raise the requirement. So you keep this check boxes here. Now the next one, as I said, like multiple things are there here, but one by one we are going to discuss. Now the next one is default baseline date. We are having no default, posting date, document date, and entry date. Okay. What is this document date, posting date, and entry date, guys? Can anyone explain? Anyone want to say something about this?
So entry date is the date we are entering the document into the system, and document date is when the invoice has raised, and posting date will be uh, posting date. Posting date will be the day we are going to like we have received the invoice.
Okay.
Yeah, can I say, sir?
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, at the time of posting, if we select this document date is a default date, baseline date, so the due date will be calculated from the due date. Sorry, document date. If it is some, if you are
No,
selecting the posting date.
I asked a question like difference between document date, posting date, and entry date.
Okay, sorry.
What is this? So you tell me, like, what is this document date, posting date, and entry date?
So difference between document date and posting date. Am I right, sir?
Yeah, and entry date also.
At posting the document at the time we mention the date in the transaction invoice. And the document date which is in a invoice number we have to take it as a document date. And entry date means at the time of the posting in the SAP system we call it a entry date. Am I right or wrong? You have to correct.
Okay, I'll explain, don't worry. So document date is the invoice date that is replied by Ravi. Okay, anybody else want to say something? Sumit, you want to say something? You have unmuted your audio but unable to hear your voice. Any other question, guys? Okay, so now Praveen has replied, posting date is the date which is invoice posting in the same segment. Smith, can you hear me? No, I'm not able to hear you, dear. I'm not able to hear you. Okay, anyway, so I'll explain, guys. So now here, okay, now it is gone. Anyway, so we'll do one thing. So there are three different dates. One is called like document date, posting date, Event here. Posting date and entry date, right? So document date is pretty simple, guys. Once we receive the invoice, then of course a particular date is going to be specified by when 01/09/2020. Okay, or else let's suppose we'll say like 25th 08/2021. This is the document date. It means on invoice, whatever invoice we are receiving, on that particular invoice, there will be a particular date is going to be specified by vendor, that is called invoice date. Okay, this invoice date is nothing but your document date. Either whether it is invoice date or document date, both are same. Posting date is what, guys? Posting date, let's suppose this invoice let's suppose vendor has sent this invoice through courier. And of course, like if you talk about the European countries and all, still this things are happening, right? Okay. So now let's suppose vendor has sent this invoice through courier, or else like along with goods, the invoice is also sent, but goods delivered somewhere and invoice is going to be delivered to the corporate office and all. Now, so invoice we have received on 1st of, okay. So invoice, what is happening, guys? Invoice we have received on this date, right? Invoice we have received on this date, on 1st, right? So when the invoice, let's suppose, is going to be received, I'll tell you guys. So somebody will be there on the reception counter, right? The receptionist, she is going to the receiving or some kind of receiving, let's suppose, or something is given by the what to say receptionist. Okay, a particular date and everything is specified so that the vendor will come to know that yes, this invoice is received by Tata Motor on so and so date. Now, or on a particular date, just assume that on a particular date it is received by Tata Motor. So it is received on 1st of September. Now, as per this accounting rules or principle, whatever it is, so what it says, guys, transaction is supposed to be recorded whenever it is taking place, right? So transaction means what? Invoice we have received, it is a kind of transaction, and it must be posted on which date, guys? On 1st of September itself, because receiving has taken place on 1st of September, and vendor is also going to count there. Let's suppose if we say okay, 1st of September, let's suppose it is going to be what to say calculated, right? Sorry, 1st of September it is supposed to be posted. So this is called posting date. Okay, invoice receiving date is nothing but a posting date. But generally, the user who is supposed to post this invoice is postponed this posting, and user decided that okay, we are already in last working hour, like it's evening. So once I come tomorrow, I'll post this. So tomorrow means this is the date, right? So user is coming on 2nd, right? So I'll show you. Now, so user is coming on which date, guys? On 2nd of September. But generally what happened, guys? So what is the actual date? The actual date is 2nd of September. But generally, when this invoice, the receiving is done on the 1st itself, right? So vendor is going to calculate their, let's suppose if the posting date is the due, what do you say, if, if 30 days is going to be calculated from posting date, then vendor is going to calculate their due date from 1st itself, right? So if invoice is going to be posted, then the posting, look at here. So invoice date is going to be given this, and posting date is going to be given 1st itself. Even though today it's 2nd, but 1st itself is going to be given. Why? Because the receiving has happened on 1st itself, right? So the posting date is going to be given, going to be given is 1st. Okay. But actual posting on which date it is happening, guys? So actual posting is going to happen on, actual posting is happening on second, even though posting date we have given first, right? So actual posting is happening on this date, right? So generally what is happening, guys, this entry date is going to be updated in background. Okay, see, entry date cannot be changed. This can be manipulated. This can be manipulated in the sense whatever you want you can keep here. Okay, so you can manipulate this date at the time of transaction posting, but entry date, no, right? If somebody is trying to post an invoice which belongs to 15th of August and today is 2nd of September. So if the previous period is open, then we can post the invoice. Posting date is going to be given 15th of August itself. But in background, the entry date is going to be updated automatically 2nd of September. This is how people will come to know that this invoice was actual posting was 2nd of September, but people have given this posting date and all, so might be due to mistakes and all. And of course, in narration, they are going to, in the sense, in text field, they are going to specify, right? Now, so the question
Sir, I
is,
have a doubt here.
tell me, dear.
Uh, does not the posting period variant will prevent this backdating posting of the invoice?
Of course, it is going to. If the period is closed, then it is going to be, right? So they will request the management
Okay.
that yesterday itself we have received the invoice. Due to high volume, I couldn't post this. So you open this, right? And generally what happened, guys, in
Okay.
real time, I'll tell you. In real time, let's suppose we have opened the period. So let's suppose if you talk about the today is 2nd of September, right? So generally what is happening? So 2nd of September, just assume that it is like as per calendar year itself. Say for example. So now 08/2021 till again 08/2021. Okay. Now, so till for 31st it is there. On 1st of September, what is happening, guys? On 1st of September, it is going to be 9. Right? There might be for 3 days or 4 days. It will be like that. On 4th of September, what is happening? They are going to close the period. Okay, so 2-3 days they are going to give 3 days, 4 days they are going to give their user so that whatever the backlog entries are there, that is going to be posted because everyone knows that month end means lots of activities are there, guys. So it is not possible to complete entire work. So they are going to give even some additional 2-3 days. The previous period will be open and users they will complete their backlog activities and all, and then the previous period is going to be closed. So generally, it is not like exactly on first itself. It is not going to be closed, guys. It has been. It is closed on this date. Let's suppose it is closed on this date. So user is having enough time, plenty of time to post their backlog entries and all. Okay. Now,
Okay, sir. Thank you.
okay. So we came back. We'll be back on this one. So now here I said document date, posting date, and entry date. Document date means simple invoice date or invoice whatever date is printed. Posting date means the receiving of invoice. If the invoice is received on first, then that is going to be treated as a posting date, right? Because on that date itself, invoice is supposed to be posted. But let's suppose if user has made any delay and the actual posting is happening on second, then that is going to be second is called entry date. Okay. Now, so the question is, let's suppose the due date is 30 days. So 30 days means what, guys? Now, so the question is 30 days calculation will happen from which date? Document date, posting date, or entry date, right? These three options are there. So from which date this 30 days calculation, due date calculation is going to happen, right? So that is called baseline date. Go to terms of payment means what, guys? Terms of payment means, of course, due date calculations. But actual due date calculation inside of within the terms of payment, what is happening, guys? The actual calculation is going to happen from which one? From baseline date. Go to OBBF. So here, if we talk about this baseline date, what is the use of baseline date, guys? So baseline date means here system is confused. If this is the condition, then system is confused. Three different dates are there. So from which date this 30 days are going to be calculated, right? So that we have to decide whether document date, posting date, or entry date. Entry date, no one is going to be agreed, guys. If SAP has given it's okay. There might be in past someone might have demanded like that one's also supposed to be. But generally, what is happening, guys? It will be document date or posting date. So now here anyone can be selected. Document date or posting date. This is radio button means only one you can select, right? Okay, mostly posting date will be agreed between the vendor and customer. Okay, I'll just say. So now what we have done, we have defined a basic payment terms or basic terms of payment. Okay, voice is not clear. The voice is not clear for everyone, guys, or it's fine. It's clear. Okay, it's fine. So okay, guys. Now there is a question from Hardik. Explain again entry date. Okay, dear, I'll explain it. First of all, because here itself, if I'm going to explain again, then the video is going to be longer, right? So let me complete the recording, uh, and then I'll explain it. I'll explain the logic. So I've selected this posting date as a baseline date. Okay, it means 40 days are going to be calculated from posting date. Okay, now, so what is the use of terms of payment, guys? With the help of terms of payment, system is going to determine the due date, right? But the actual calculation of due dates are happening from within the terms of payment. We are having a setting called baseline date. So what is the use of baseline date, guys? The baseline date, it's a baseline date by which system is going to calculate the due date. Okay. Like I'll tell you guys, there was a time when I was unable to I was unable to answer this baseline date. There was a question, what do you mean by baseline date? And I didn't say anything, isn't it? I'm talking about way back in 2008 when I was preparing for this. Because when my faculty, taught this terms of payment, he didn't say anything about this, and simply he just copied one and simply he said like you save it and you use this one. What is the use of this? Where we are going to use like multiple fields are there? What is the logic behind these things? Nothing. Right? So that is why. Anyway, so now here baseline date means what, guys? It is going to be used for due date calculations, right? Due date means from posting date, document date, entry date, from which date that you have to select. Now, we have created a payment terms. Now, what is happening, guys? This payment terms, whatever we have created, that is supposed to be assigned to the vendor master because you are having multiple vendor. I'm having vendor A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Multiple vendors are there. With this vendor, we are having agreement for 30 days. With this vendor, we are having agreement for 60 days. This vendor 15 days, again 30 days, again this vendor 16 days. 30 days, 15 days, right? So with a different vendor, different negotiations are there because different kind of materials are going to be purchased, guys, right? So now on different payment terms we have negotiated. So TM30, let's suppose for 30 days we have defined TM30. For 60 days we can define TM60, right? For 15 days we can define like TM15. Again here TM30 already defined, that is going to be here TM60. We have defined for 60 days TM30, then TM15. Okay, and you make it like TM90. Okay, so look at here, multiple terms of payments are going to be defined, guys. For this vendor 30 days, for this vendor 60 days. Now, so again, of course, terms of payment can be entered at the time of invoice posting also. But the question is, user will not be able to remember, right? Thousands of vendors are there. Against which vendor, which kind of payment terms has been negotiated, how user will come to know? Because negotiation team will be somebody else, right? And even if somebody is a part of this negotiation also, since several thousand vendors are there, it is impossible to remember. So that is why what is happening, guys? We have defined all the terms of payment and it is going to be assigned against vendor master itself. So no need to remember. While posting the invoices, SAP is automatically going to determine the terms of payment and based on that automatically due date calculations are happening. So look at here, guys. Manually if we are going to calculate how much time it is going to take, it's going to take too much time. But now we have defined the terms of payment. That terms of payment is going to be assigned to the vendor master, and while posting the invoices, user is not going to do anything. Invoice will be posted against vendor, right? Terms of payment is going to be determined by system automatically. We'll see here. So TM30 I have defined. Go to XK02. Edit the vendor master guide. This is the vendor or a different vendor. You need to click here, payment transactions. Yeah, this is the vendor. So I have assigned a predefined terms of payment 0001. 0001 means payable immediately, in the sense if the invoice got posted today, it is going to be due today itself. You just do one thing, you assign here TM30 and save it. Just save it. Now what is happening, guys? Here terms of payment we have assigned. Post an invoice here. Go to FA60. So this is the vendor. Now we'll do one thing, this condition. Okay. So document date. It means invoice date. Invoice we have received. Sorry, invoice got printed on 25th. So on invoice, this date got printed. I will post. I'll give here 25/08/2020. Posting date. Since invoice we have received on 1st of September, so as per rule, it was supposed to be posted on 1st of September itself, right? And since posting date is the is a baseline date, in the sense due date is going to be calculated from posting date itself. So the invoice receiving has happened on 1st itself, right? So vendor know that it was received on 1st, right? Now vendor is going to calculate their due date on from 1st itself, right? So we must have to post this invoice in this date itself, right? But what is the actual date today, guys? It is 2nd. So entry is happening on which date? Actual date is 2nd, right? Hardik, you try to understand this one itself. You said, right? Explain this entry date. So invoice we have received yesterday, that is your posting date. Yesterday itself it was supposed to be posted, but due to certain reason we couldn't post. Now I'm going to post it today, but the posting date will be, I'm going to keep yesterday date itself as a posting date, because on the yesterday date itself it is supposed to be posted. But actual entry is taking place on which date, guys? On 2nd. Today is 2nd. So the entry is going to happen on which date? On 2nd. So by default, system is going to update this entry date in background, and 2nd will be updated. Here any amount, guys, let's suppose 1100 unique amount. Give our rent GL itself noises. That is also expense. Okay. And if you press enter, this is not defined in TM10. Okay, company code is TM33, right? So here first given invoice amount, here 1100, press enter. Once you press enter, it is warning message that due date is in past, it's okay. Once you press enter, click on payment tab. Now look at here, guys, the baseline date is appearing, right? The baseline date system has taken, which one? Baseline date, which one is taken, guys? 25th itself. Why? Have I selected document date itself as a baseline date or posting date? Posting date I have selected, right? The invoice we have posted on 1st. So why it is getting, what is this? Here we have given TM30 itself, right? What is happening, guys? How come calculation is going to be wrong, right? So baseline date is system is saying this one, right? I'll just do one thing, guys. Here multiple other fields also supposed to appear. Now, so we'll do one thing. Go to OP. So this field supposed to be controlled by your field status variant, right? So go to OBC4. I think is that TM33 itself have created or anything? No. TM00. I think this is the field status variant which is going to be used. And G001 payment transactions. Lots of due date. Make it optional. Payment terms optional. And okay. Payment currency. Just save this. So these fields are going to be optional entry. Now once again, I'll come back here. Slash and FB60. Now let me check the fields. Here, cost of this one is the posting date. Any amount, guys. Okay, now look at here, guys. It is taking the correct one. I don't know like why it was taking for post document date earlier. So anyway, now it is taking correct one, right? The baseline date, right? So baseline date is 01. In the sense, baseline date means what? From where it is going to be calculated, right? So baseline date is posting date itself. Since we have selected here in terms of payment, that the baseline date in the sense that 40 days calculation will happen from posting date, right? So here, if you talk about, let's suppose there is an invoice amount 1000. On that 10% tax is there. So 100 rupees tax, right? So this 100 rupees tax got calculated on which amount, guys? This amount. So this amount is called base amount for tax calculation, right? So likewise, let's suppose if 30 days is going to be calculated from which date? This date, this date, this date. So if I say this date, then what is happening? Posting date is called base date, or you can say baseline date. Okay, 30 days calculation is going to happen from this one. Right, so get here. So that is why baseline date means system has selected posting date, and in that 30 days is going to be added. So this invoice is going to be due on this date. It means first of 10th, automatic calculation, right? You just save it and you just go to FPL1N and we'll check. So here, look at here, this one posting date is 31st. Earlier, what is this? Posting date 31st. Document date also 31st, and
So see next entry, which you have done right now.
this one is that, right? Okay, so why this is appearing like this, guys? Anything is there? This is a different vendor. This is now both vendors are same only, right? So it should appear in a single line instance, right? Yeah, now it is appearing in a single this one. I think I don't know like how I have set up this layout and all. So every line item was showing in a different way. Okay, I'll just do one. Somebody might have made some experiment, guys. Look at here. It is showing different line item, right? So now here, I will just do one thing. Make like this, and then okay, this is the document date. I'll just do one thing, guys. Is there any other? Okay, now here, I'll just do one thing. I'll remove certain things. Okay, and then here, like I'll bring like document date, document date. So bring this document here. Then we'll bring posting date, posting date. That is going to be after document date. And then are we having options, guys? Let me select. Let me check. Entry date option is there or not? It is not there, right? Somewhere it should be. Net due date is there, that I'll bring here. This one also I'll bring. Okay. And copy this. Okay. So now I'll just do one thing. I'll save it on this one itself. Save it. Okay. Now, so look at here, document date. This one, right? Document date, posting date, and it is going to be due. If you double click on this one, and what is happening, guys? So, okay, if you click here, Okay. Look at here, entered on. Here we are having, this is entry date, right? So on which date it is, like document date is 25th, right? Posting date is this one, but entry date is 2nd. It is entered on 2nd of, so automatically what is happening, guys? The current date on which the transaction is going to be entered, right? Entered on is nothing but the entry date itself, right? So it is going to be updated, right? So document date means invoice date. Posting date means the date on which it is supposed to be posted. It was supposed to be posted on 1st, but now what is happening, guys? The user has not, due to high volume or any reason, user has not posted on 1st. Then what is happening, guys? Next day it is going to be posted. But even next day means 2nd of September. But the transaction must be posted in the, on which date, guys? 1st itself. The posting date must be given 1st itself. So posting date we have given on 1st, but by default system is going to update this entry date, and it will be always a current date. The date on which the transaction got entered is entry date. Okay. So guys, multiple things I have to explain in terms of payment also. That will be explained one by one. So that's all in this session, guys. That's all for today.